couple of years ago, while on a missions trip, I was struck by an idea in a book I was reading. The idea was based on a question by Christian sociologist Tony Campolo. The question being, even if there were no heaven and there were no hell, would you still follow Jesus? He follows that question by asking, would you follow him for the life, joy, and fulfillment he gives you right now? And at the time, I was like, yeah, absolutely. God is fantastic. My life now is awesome. Because I was in a period that was one of the greatest times of my life. I was getting answers to prayer, having dreams from God every night, seeing God do amazing things, and loving life. But a year or two after that, when I was no longer in missions, I was hanging out with a couple of other Christians. And I asked them that question.
Gwanda Blitz, Marka Nurbler.
I thought it would spark a whole conversation about how great God is and how much value he adds to our daily lives. But boy, was I wrong. What I got was a bunch of cold, hard no's. No ways, not worth it. And I didn't know how to respond. I mean, I'd set up the question expecting the answer I wanted, so I wasn't really ready to engage people who had honest answers that were different than mine. Why won't these Sims do what I'm telling them to do? But it shocked me to hear this from other Christians. And maybe that's because at the time I was just living in the moment, not thinking about my future much except for the next immediate fun thing that I had planned. Okay, I'm just gonna plan out my whole life, and I think I'm done. And I definitely wasn't concerned about my mortality. But shortly after that, I went through a period that was the worst time in my life. And I had to ask myself, why am I following God when life is terrible and I have no joy or fulfillment? It took me a long time to be self-aware enough to realize that while I could say, yes, it's worth it to follow Jesus for my life right now. Let me just sign over my life real quick. My actions and emotions could say the opposite.
I wonder if this was in the fine print.
And I had to ask myself, am I even following God? Truth is, I've been on a continual journey of following God for a long time now. But the actual process of trusting God and surrendering each little bit of my life to Him has been a little rocky.
What do you mean the cake is a lie? No, this is mine. I need all of it.
Okay, you can have this much.
Well, you can't have any more. I already gave you all of it. There's no more.
So ask yourself these kinds of questions. Is God worth following today with X, Y, Z and all the craziness going on? And if so, how are you going to act because of it? Thanks for watching. Until next time.